Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Escape from Seas China. My name is Bindi Bindi and my co-host is True007. Say hi.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm True007, as Bindi Bindi said. Yeah, we have our guest today, 曙光磊王. Please say hello to everyone. 请给大家打个招呼，曙光。
尊敬的爆料革命战友，大家下午好！很荣幸应阿斌战友的邀请来到这里谈一下我自8964后的一些经历。
Distinguished comrades of Himalaya Australian Media Program Group and of the Whistleblower Movement, good afternoon. It's an honor to come here at the invitation of Bindi Bindi, that's me, to talk about some of my experiences since June 4th, 1989.
好的，继续，磊王。
8964后，学生的爱国运动被镇压了。我想有共匪的存在，中国的老百姓永远不会好。当时也没有什么好的想法，每天奔波，首先要解决温饱和养活老婆孩子。我从小出生在一个贫穷的家庭里，从几岁起就经常挨饿，没有件像样的衣服，看到别人穿的布鞋都眼馋的要命。
Come, I will translate. After the suppression of June 4th, 1989, students' patriotic movement, my thought was that Chinese people would never have a good life in the presence of these communist bandits. Then I did not have any better idea than to labor each day to provide for my wife and child. I was born into a very poor family and I have been starving. I had been starving since I was a few years old. I did not have any decent clothes and was envious of other people's canvas shoes.
记得80年代初，我的母亲得了肺结核，刚开始病情并不严重，可是没有钱治疗。那时家里没有钱，当时我们这个普通百姓没有医保，有点钱就给她治几天，就这样硬挺了4年多了。当时母亲去世时，身上没有一点肌肉，只剩骨头了。想起这些，我都禁不住流眼泪。
Well, I remembered that in the early 1980s, my mother had tuberculosis. Initially, the illness was not serious, but we had no money for treatment. At that time, ordinary people did not have medical insurance. When we had a little money, we would give her treatment for a few days. This continued for around 4 years and she passed away. When my mother passed, she had no muscle on the body, only bones. I couldn't help but shed tears when I think of this.
不是我不努力，我每天干最脏最累的活，可是赚的钱却是总是那么少。因为我是草根中的草根，没有任何关系，只能靠自己苦干来改变生活。下面我说一下我在中共国我的治病的经历。
It was not because we didn't work hard. I did the dirtiest work from day to night. But what I earned was so little because I was the lowest of the grassroots. I didn't have any social network. So the only thing I could do was to rely on my hard work to change my life. I will talk about my experience in getting my illness treated in communist China.
90年代末期，我为了生活去给一个个体老板打工。第一天，老板给我安排的活是把一间储藏室抹的白灰墙面要全部铲掉，并装进袋子。我为了早点干完活回家照顾生意，一上午就干完了。当时也不懂，没有任何防护。回家后鼻子里全是白灰沫。不久我就持续咳嗽并吐黄痰，然后就高烧不断。到医院一检查，得了严重的肺结核，肺部有个很大的被烧掉的空洞，到现在拍片子还有一个空白的地方。当时身体明显的消瘦，严重时走路都费劲。 经过3年多不间断的化疗，我指的是服用化学药物，在老伴儿的精心照料下，我终于恢复了健康。但是治疗费全是自己花钱。
In the late 90s, I worked for a sole proprietor. On day one, the boss arranged for me to shovel off white ash wall of a storage room and put it in a bag. I wanted to go home early to take care of my business, so I finished the task in the morning. Then I didn't understand about work health and safety. When I got home, my nostrils were full of white ash foam. Soon after, I had prolonged cough and yellow phlegm, followed by high fever. I went to the hospital and discovered I had severe tuberculosis. There was a large hole burnt into my lungs. Even now, when taking X-ray, the blank spot could be seen. I lost weight. During a bad day, I would have difficulty walking. It took 3 days and continuous treatment with chemicals, I guess pharmaceutical chemicals, as well as tender loving care of my wife before I recovered. After the medical treatment, the cost of which was at my own expense.
有，好。
2021年，我又得了一场大病，这时我入了保险，治病花了1万多，结果才报了2000多。2012年，我得了脑梗，又花了很多钱，结果一样大部分钱还是自己花钱治病。
In 2001, I got another bout of serious illness. By then, I was medically insured. I incurred more than 10,000 yuan of insurance premium, but only managed to get 2,000 yuan reimbursed. In 2012, I had cerebral infarction, a common form of stroke. I spent a lot of my own money for treatment.
而到了2018年，我由于腿部深静脉血栓，由于供孩子上学家里没有钱，导致我治疗不及时，危及生命，被送进了 ICU 病房，抢救了2天才活了过来，花销10多万人民币，诊断为由于腿部深静脉血栓栓子脱落，导致肺动脉栓塞，同时心脏也变大，并且心脏变大不可能恢复到正常大小。这次大病可谓是九死一生，孩子找医生打听，像我这样的病生存率仅是1/1000。
In 2018, I had deep vein thrombosis in the leg. My child was schooling. I didn't have sufficient money for timely treatment. I nearly died. I was admitted to the ICU for 2 days of emergency treatment, and I managed to survive. This cost more than 100,000 yuan. After diagnosis, it was due to deep vein thrombotic embolism in the leg, resulting in pulmonary artery embolism and an enlarged heart. The heart will never return to normal size. I was lucky to be alive. My child found out that from the doctor that the survival rate for my type of condition is more in 1 in 10,000. Very lucky.
让我最接受不了的是，这次住院保险公司只给我报销了300-400人民币，报了2-3千人民币。我的身体怎么会这样？我不用说，大家也都会想到。
What I cannot accept was that the hospital insurance only reimbursed me 300 to 400 yuan, and medical insurance reimbursed me 2,000 to 3,000 yuan out of 100,000. Okay, so how did my health get to this stage? Your guess is correct.
活在共匪国上学、治病、养老都是我们这些草根望尘莫及的事。而那些大医院有专门的高干病房，他们有专人伺候，也不用花1分钱，还要有补助。
While living in communist China, schooling, medical treatment, retirement are things which grassroots cannot hope to compare with any others. In the big hospitals are built for special high-level cadet wards. They have special people to serve, and they don't even need to spend a penny and still get subsidies.
我同学的直系亲属是个处级干部，退休后可以享受一切待遇，住高级病房，用进口药，死了还给家属几十万补助。
My classmate's immediate family member is a department level cadet who can enjoy all the benefits after retirement, stay in a senior ward, use imported drugs, and even after he passed away, the family still get hundreds of thousands of subsidies, and the family members continue to enjoy free medical housing and related treatment. This is discriminating system of communist China. The poorer you are, the worse treatment you get.
家属还继续享受免费医疗、住房等相关待遇。这就
说，曙光，
继续。
我起早贪黑的打工赚钱，没日没夜的干活。我出门很少带雨伞，因为那样走路会慢。下了车就是跑步节约时间。我的老伴儿就这样一直照顾我，陪伴我一路走来，支持我。我当年有了孩子后，发誓要把孩子培养好，不让孩子再像我们一样的活着，把他送出去，让他享受自由的生活，呼吸新鲜没有污染的空气。
Well, I work from early morning until dark to earn a living. I rarely go out with an umbrella as it slows down my pace. I jog after getting off public transportation to save time. My wife has been supporting me all along, and when I became a father, I vowed to raise the child well so that my child will not repeat our life. I sent him out of the country for him to live a free life, to breathe fresh, unpolluted air.
8、9后，我做了点小生意，收入稍微稳定了一些，孩子也要上幼儿园了。我心里想，孩子是我们的未来，我把所有的希望都寄托在孩子身上。从此，我负责每天接送孩子上学，老伴儿负责店里和家务，总是梦想有一天把孩子送出国，让他去国外发展。当时由于共匪多年的洗脑和在国内根本就看不到真相，对国外的生活也并不了解，只是觉得肯定会比国内好。于是我们全家省吃俭用来培养孩子，最终孩子没让我们失望，于10多年前出国留学，最后大学本科和研究生都顺利毕业，还找到了称心的工作。
Well, after June 4th, 1989, I had a small business and my income was slightly more stable. My child also attended kindergarten. My thought was that the child is our future, so I put all my hopes on the child. Since then, I was responsible for taking my child to school every day, while my wife looked after the store and did housework. The dream was eventually for him to go abroad. Due to brainwashing of communist China and our inability to see the truth, I did not have any understanding of life abroad. I just felt that that we need to be very thrifty to save up for the child. And eventually, our child did not disappoint me, and he went abroad to study over a decade ago. He obtained his bachelor and master degrees and found a satisfactory job.
Good. 很好。
我虽然参加了很多民主群，知道不少国内国外的事情，但是也只是些皮毛。直到看到郭先生419端播门后，我认定郭先生一定是个好人。后来学会了翻墙，之后郭先生的每一期节目我都观看。认为郭先生说的都是真的，从这以后下定决心跟随郭先生，将爆料革命进行到底。
After year 2000, although I participated in many pro-democracy groups, what I knew was only skin deep up until I saw Mr. Guo's April 2019 broadcast, which was abruptly interrupted by the Voice of America. I recognized that Mr. Guo was a good man, and later I learned to use VPN and have been following each and every of his program. I recognized that everything Mr. Guo said was true. Since then, I decided to follow Mr. Guo and carry on with the whistleblower movement until the end.
这期间，国内我所在的城市的腐败非常严重，从各个方面都能看到腐败的影子。从交通局钓鱼执法到钓鱼执法，地痞混混与政府工作人员勾结，以各种各样的方法榨取百姓的钱财。从公安局、工商局、税务局、城管局、执法局，更不用说法院、检察院了。每天都有一些让人恶心的事情发生。
During this period, the corruption in my city was widespread, from a traffic fishing way of law enforcement to collusion with government workers, all manners to squeeze money from the people. From Public Security Bureau, the Industry and Commercial Bureau, the Tax Bureau, the Urban Management Bureau, the Law Enforcement Bureau, not to mention the courts and the court system. Every day you see something disgusting happening.
现在我老伴儿也算如愿了，尽管每天都很累，但是觉得生活过得很有意义，每天把时间安排得很紧张，希望在有限的生命里投入到无限的爆料革命当中去，为新中国联邦的未来。
At present, my wife and I consider ourselves having fulfilled our wishes. Although we are very tired every day, we are fulfilled and feel that life is meaningful. Of course, now Suguang, they are living in Sydney. We are very busy each day, hoping to devote our limited remainder of our lives to the whistleblower movement for the future of the new federal state of China.
That's good. So they're living with the kids now. Wonderful. So his kids is wonderful kids.
It should be one. He never told me. How Suguang? Carry on.
在中国腐败到处都是，我只能从我能看到的层次说一下底层腐败现象。年代末，交通局就找了一些地痞和混混，在市区的有些街道抓一些骑摩托车的，为此他们获得巨大的利益。他们有些外地来的混混加地痞，由1-2个交通局的人带领出来所谓的执法。有很多市民因为交警队不给发摩托车牌照，也没有驾照，就这样他们可以任意的抓，然后把摩托车存放到跟他们合作的停车场，收取高价停车费。每抓一台，这些所谓的执法人员跟外流无所事事的地痞分成，他们的行为让人们深恶痛绝。可是就这样的体制只能默默忍受。这是最早的我所遇到的一种情况而已。
So going back to describing corruption that he has experienced, corruption was everywhere in the CCP, in Communist China. From what he has experienced, he would talk about corruption at the very bottom level that he has experienced before. Back in 1990s, the Traffic Bureau colluded with some goons to harass motorcyclists and to make profit. What they do is they will collude with out-of-town goons led by 1 or 2 Traffic Bureau officers, and they would cause many citizens not to be able to get motorcycling license plates or not issue license to motorcyclists. This will enable them to arbitrarily arrest motorcyclists and then store their bike in the nominated or assigned parking lot managed by their own cronies. charging high parking fees, and then split the profit. So the behavior was deeply resented by the people, but people accepted it because that was the system, and they just have to endure it in silence. So this was one of the earliest situations that he has encountered.
继续。
其实重大的利益及腐败远比这有过之而无不及。每当哪里有拆迁，提前几个月甚至一年或者2年都有异动，这些人以及各个部门，他们利用自己获得的内部消息或者权利，低价购买土地，在上面建房子，或者种植只有他们知道能获得巨大赔偿的植物，有的甚至与政府官员勾结，不花1分钱就可以获得各项权益。我不知道具体怎么勾结，但是老百姓都知道是怎么回事儿。可是又能怎么样呢？
So everything is surrounding profit, and corruption is a way for you to attain more profit. So corruption is actually far worse than what was described. That was at the traffic level. This one is on the demolition and redevelopment level. So whenever there's a planned demolition, there are always abnormal activities a few months prior or even a year or 2 prior. So people and departments with insider information, they will buy land, build houses on them, or plant plants that they know they can get huge compensation. And this way, the government officials would obtain various rights and interests without even spending a penny. So I do not know how all this collusion works, but we can see the outcome. But what can we do?
那是好，继续。
老百姓如果在自家的房子上改造扩建一下，就是违法建筑，会被强拆。可是他们就可以随便建。
Ordinary people, if they were to renovate or expand their homes, they will be deemed illegal building and will be forcibly demolished. But the insiders, they can build at will.
政府拆迁时，就会有人主动找你，跟你谈，我帮你多要出钱，一起分成。这些人由于工作人员不方便出头，由他们代理，有很多人在这种情况下获得了巨大的利益。明明政府出台的内部消息是2000至5000一平米，这些信息是不公开的，只可能轻描淡写的公开一些信息，也是最低的标准，代理人就可以获得最高的价格，除去给被拆迁人最低的补偿标准，剩余的要跟代理人一起平分，甚至给被拆迁人更低的价格，谁不服就强拆。
So whenever there's a government demolition, somebody will approach the affected people and offer them to represent them. So what they'll do is say, okay, we'll try and get you the highest price, and then we can split the profit. What a way to make money. So people, the residents, because of inconvenience of work inconvenience, so they will appoint such agents. So normally the rates of 2,000 to 5,000 yuan per meter compensation is confidential information. It's not made public. So even if there's any information that is released, is very superficial information. Yet these agents, appointed agents, they will be able to get the highest compensation and paying the affected resident whose home are being were to be demolished, paying them the minimum amount of compensation while keeping all the rest of the profit to themselves. So this would happen so that the developers, they would send in goons to get the highest price possible. If people were to not cooperate with them, they will cause their water and electricity to be interrupted, and this is just at the most harmless level. If it is anything worse, they will actually be hurting people, and village tyrants will then dominate as to what happens to the residents.
我以上说的是政府行为的拆迁，如果开发商那就更惨了，他们把一些所谓的地痞无赖给高价打发走， 剩下的就用非常阴损的手段促使其就范，断水断电，这都是小事儿，也是司空见惯。村霸都是跟上面有关系的，他们根本不会给老百姓说法。
If it comes to the developers, things are even much worse. They will monopolize all kinds of businesses and do whatever they want.
在我所在的城市，这种事情太多了，哪个平民一夜暴富了，而那些当官的和地痞都暴富，他们可以垄断各种生意，为所欲为。自从OK.
In my city, there are many such things. There are no common people who become rich overnight, but those officials and goons, they all get rich. They can monopolize all kinds of businesses and do whatever they want.
是。
自从2010年后，又出现了新的一族，那就是带路族，就是与交警有关系的人，到城市的入口领车，由他们带进市区，大货车，他们护送到目的地，不会有警察拦截。大货车主每次进城都要交带路费，这种情况是来自于之前货车司机往返城市间经常被罚，他们承受不了，就想出了给交警钱，然后就放行。后来有的司机非常的气愤，就偷偷的录像来举报，共匪的交警不敢亲自收钱了，这样就出现了代理人，有人曝光也不怕了。
In 2010, there come a new what do you call a new profession? New profession. These are called professional escorts. So these people, they collude with the traffic police, and what they would do is whoever who come into the city, you need to have one of these escorts around. Whenever they get into the car with you or in the truck with you, they will make sure that you actually get to your destination without being interrupted. And then the truck drivers or the truck owners will then have to pay an escort fee. This is escort at a different level. This sort of situation is whoever who don't cooperate, they will get blocked by they will be stopped by the traffic police, and then they will be issued with a fine. So after a few fines, what happens? People will be taught to be compliant. Eventually, the drivers became very, very unhappy, very angry. They start videotaping secretly and start to raise a report. Now, the traffic police then wouldn't dare to personally collect the money anymore, but will instead send an agent. So with the agent, people are not afraid of being videotaped, and they are not afraid of being reported on.
There may be a female escort with them. That's definitely a real escort to make the driver happy to pay. Okay. That's the joke. 好，继续。
警察罚点款也就算了，最可恨的有个大货车司机亲自跟我说的一件事儿，让我对这个体制彻底绝望。这个司机说的是，一个货车车主贷款买了辆大货车，雇了一个司机，由于违章被扣了6分，再被扣6分就不能开车了。这是一。第二，这个车主拉了一车的大豆被交通局扣了，一旦被扣，要交通局和交警队都得出手续，扣进停车场要交高额的停车费，而且一扣就要半个月以上。OK.
So, even if we were to pay a fine, it's not so bad. But what is most hateful, what is more detestable, is a story what he's been told by a truck driver. Personally, the truck driver said that, truck driver said made him very despair of the system. He said that there was a truck owner who took a loan and bought a big truck, hired a driver, and because of violation of rules, truck driver was deducted six points. So after being deducted 6 points, the driver can't drive anymore. And the truck had a truckload of soybean and was being detained by the traffic bureau. And the traffic bureau put the truck in the parking lot, which incurred high parking fee, like we mentioned before. And it was the truck was detained for 1.5 months, more than half a month. And the owner of the truck not only have to pay the fine, the loan, they will actually have to take out a lot of money in order to retrieve the truck. So hearing this story really made him very disappointed.
And not only that, the female truck owner have to kneeling down to the traffic police and pull out the 10,000 RMB and begging them, please do not lock up my truck, because so much every day she has to pay so much expenses without the working. Then she's fine fees, all photocopy fee and so on. But also she lost income and so on.
Yes.
So she's gonna make it terrible losses. 好，继续。
车主一天不出车都要损失很多钱还贷款，女车主就跪下了，拿出1万人民币请求不要扣车。听到这个故事，我当时气得肺都要炸了。只要是被查扣的大货车停在那里，每天收高价的停车费，就连需要放行所需要的复印材料，他们都要收取高价。一个驾照复印件要10元人民币，全部复印下来至少100-200块，正常复印最高的也就是5毛钱，1张5毛钱。
Hearing the story of the female owner, it really made him explode. He said that when the truck is being detained in the car park, they will have to, of course, pay a high parking fee. And even if any photocopying that is required to be done, even then they will use the advantage, take the advantage and charge high photocopying fee. So one photocopy a page will cost, say, 10 renminbi, 10 yuan. And to finish all the photocopying and to pay the fine and everything else, the photocopying itself is 100 to 200 yuan, when normally the photocopying cost should be just 50 cents.
Yeah. Okay.
50 cents per page, I mean. But instead of 50 cents per page, they have to pay 10 renminbi, 10 yuan.
That's 100 times cost. Okay. Then if it's down...
Oh, 50 cents, 5 cents. 5 cents. Should be 5 cents, but they will charge 10 renminbi.
That's 200 times. Okay. 好，继续吧。
这就是中国的现状。由于时间的原因，还有很多，比如百姓治病，与澳大利亚对比等等很多的话题。今天我就说到这儿。
So this is the current situation with the Chinese Communist Party or Communist China. Due to reason of time, I mean, we are well within our time, just 5 minutes over. There are many such other comparison, contrast actually between what ordinary people in China, how they get treated, as opposed to in Australia, which is so much, Australia is a heaven actually. Especially hearing what Shu Guang would say of how he was treated by the medical fraternity here. He has been so well treated. He said the difference is between heaven and earth. But due to a reason of time, we can only describe Shu Guang's experience up to now. We're gonna hand back for time to Shu Guang to close.
许光，你做一个总结。
感谢节目组的战友以及屏幕前的战友，感谢大家观看，谢谢战友。
Yeah. Thank you, all the comrades or all the fellow fighters in the program group and all the fellow fighters in front of the screen. That's us. And I think Sugan is very grateful for this opportunity to come and tell his story. Every one of us have a story that they want to tell, and sometimes they just don't have the opportunity. What you see from Global Times, what you see on TikTok, anything that appears to be very well choreographed, they are not real. Not real, okay? So 007, over to you.
Yeah, so we can see from, every time, every Wednesday afternoon, Sydney time, 3 p.m. And what we have been able to do is, so many brothers and sisters of the New Federal State of China, whistleblowers movements, they want to share the story about what happened in the life in China, okay? In the communist China, and how they run out, and when they're living overseas, okay, out of China, how the contrast really made them see clearly, okay, that the whole system of the communism in China is not for humans. So this is why we must take down the evil CCP. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to give you the biggest contrast, okay? We just heard from Mao Squaw. Zheng Qinghong's grandchildren, they are in Sydney. The house which they have is how many million? 37 million?
They bought the house for 37 million and they demolished
Australian dollars.
Yeah, Australian dollars. Demolished it and rebuilt a mansion on top.
Okay, $37 million for that piece of land that is overlooking Sydney Opera House. Right?
Yeah.
And they demolish it and build new. Okay, this is Zheng Qinghong. This is a retired senior vice president of the CCP. Compared to our fellow fighter here,曙光磊王, how he had to pedal so hard at the expense of his own health.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think he's probably not much older than me. And his health is smashed. He has all type of illnesses because he had to pedal so hard to make a living. Thank you very much, everybody. We will be back next week, same time, same channel, and hope to see you then. Thank you very much. Thank you, Fla, for being our director.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I just want to add one more sentence. Since now, how he said he worked very hard, both of them, and trying to get his kid to overseas, so they never have to live in what they struggled. And the good thing is, he looks like his son has, tried his best and now get his bachelor and master degree and find a good job. That's why he can sponsor his parents come to Australia. Been the only son now in Australia, you can sponsor your parents in. So now that's why曙光can really see the differences about living here. Okay, that's it. This is how for a Chinese, before, if you want to escape China, you have to plan this long so carefully. So how bad Chinese communism is. What you see in the TikTok and all that, as are being said, Bindi said, this is just a show, okay? It's not real, guys. Let's take down the Communist Party. Take down the CCP.
Take down the CCP.
Take down the CCP. Okay. See you next time.
沧海一声笑，滔滔也共潮。 笑陷如潮。